Hey everybody, welcome back to Minute on the Mountain. It's a Sunday afternoon. Got finished with church services and I'm out for a little hike in Weber County. Still haven't checked off Weber County, even though it's really close to where I live. I've got 4 hours or so to hike today. So we're gonna look for some sheds in an area that I've never been before. And then we're also trying out this day pack hunting backpack from New View Hunting. They reached out to me a couple of weeks ago. Man, I'm overwhelmed. They sent me a hunting jacket, hunting pants, a neck gaiter, the backpack. Just feel super fortunate to be able to test all that out for them. It's going to be a while before I test out the jacket. I won't use that till probably this fall. But the pants I'll use on our spring turkey hunt. I'm trying out the pack today and just going to kind of run it through the paces and see what we think. It's not as heavy as my regular pack, my Alps Outdoors pack. I wouldn't want to try and pack elk sheds on this, but for 4 or 5 deer sheds, which is a big day for me finding sheds, it would work plenty well. And hopefully we can test it on 1 or 2 today. So I'll go through some of the highlights of it and features of it, you know, later in the hike and then also back at home. But thanks for coming along. Wish us luck. This hike has been straight up. And I'm sure hoping there's a little saddle or a bench up on the top of this ridge. I hope it doesn't just drop straight down the other side, or it'll be a wasted trip for sure. I mean, it's still pretty scenery. I got good exercise, but I mean, I've seen sign all the way up. You know, deer on here. In fact, I busted 7 deer that were bedded up here on the side. But there's not a lot of sign, so you know, there's just not a ton of deer in this area, or at least it doesn't seem like it. The other ridges down here that I've hiked in the past had more sign than this one. And maybe that's just because it's so steep. But man, it's pretty up here. These cliffs are pretty. So anyway, I'm just going up to that next ridge and get up on the top of it. And if there's nothing up there, then I'm just start working my way back down. If there's a saddle or a bench up there, then I'm gonna work in it, you know, for a while, really grit it out well. So I just got this last little push, 150 yards or so to get up there to the top. Well, unfortunately, there's no saddle. It's pretty much straight down the other side. And it's steeper than what I came up. So we're just gonna have to go back down the way I came up. Man, it's a bummer. I mean, I could drop down and work that ravine down, but I don't know if I'd get cliffed out below. And I definitely wouldn't want to drop down in there and have to come back up the side of it. Quite the view though. Well, we made it down off the top. I bumped 4 more deer coming down. Now I'm crossing this big rock field to get over here to this little bit flatter spot where there's some juniper trees and looks like some cedars maybe too. I'm gonna grid through that, then I'm gonna head back to the car and get home. Haven't checked on X for a while, so I really don't have any idea how far I've gone. Not very far, because it's just been so slow. It was so steep that I went slow going up because I'm just out of breath and my legs are tired, and slow going down just to be careful. So but we'll get up here and work through these trees that are up here a little bit and then start heading back to the car. Well, we're only about 500 or 600 yards from the car. So my first impression of this day pack, this hunting pack from New View, when I put it on at the house just to kind of set it up for me, I didn't think I was going to like the way it rides. The torso seems short to me, so it seems like to keep the weight from being on my shoulders, I had to have the waistband really high, like quite a bit above my hips. That was my initial impression. Now I've hiked almost 5 miles in it today. It won't be quite 5. It'll be over 4.5. And I don't feel the weight on my shoulders at all, like I thought I would, honestly. Now, I don't have a lot in this pack. I've got 3 bottles of water. I have my fire starting kit, and I have my first aid kit. I have my 9mm strapped on the front, and I've had my GoPro hanging on it. A couple of snacks. So I don't know what the weight is, but it's not very heavy. But with a light pack, it's ridden pretty well. Again, I don't feel it on my shoulders. So it'll be interesting to see what it's like if you were hunting all day and had your rifle on here, because they do include the little scabbard attachment where you can carry your rifle. There's no way in the world I would take this to hunt deer in an area where I'd have to quarter it and pack it out.
Thank you.
Yep,
Bye-bye.
you bet. Letting some bikers go by. There's just not enough room to quarter it and pack it out. But if you were hunting someplace where you could just drag it out or cart it out, I could definitely see you using this pack on a day-long deer hunt. Need plenty of room for your snacks, for gloves, things like that. So anyway, I'll keep using it, keep trying it out. One thing I do like about it, it is better ventilated than my Alpine Apps. It doesn't ride as close to your back. It kind of pushes out a little bit. There's a gap to give you more circulation. So my back's not as sweaty as it typically would be. Usually my back is absolutely just drenched in sweat. Now it's sweaty, but not as much as usual. Now it's not very hot. It was only 70. So anyway, that's my initial thoughts. Again, we'll do a much more thorough review. I'm going to get out and use it more. But so far, so good. I can see the trucks. We're about back to the truck. I've been sporting this New View pack again from New View Hunting today. It's the second time I've had it out. Feels really good. Just the way it rides higher than my other pack. And I didn't know if I would like that, but I actually do like it. And it's quite a bit lighter than my Alpine Apps. It's not as big, so I'd expect it to be lighter. But anyway, so far so good. I'll give a pretty thorough overview of the different compartments, the configuration, zippers, etc. I've been really impressed. The zippers look like they're storm-proof. They've got the rubber coating that goes over the top of them like you see on rain jackets. So I'm guessing that does a good job keeping the water out. And we're going to know because it rained on us the whole day today. Well, except when it snowed. So but anyway, just got it back to the truck. Didn't find anything. Ben and I split up. I haven't heard from him. Maybe he found something on this last little spot back to the truck. But anyway, we're going to go try one more spot before we head home today. Well, I want to give you my final thoughts on this 35-liter backpack from New View Hunting. I've had the opportunity now to review quite a few products over the last little bit, and there's some hits and some misses. This is definitely a hit. I have been very impressed with this pack, especially for the price point. So let's kind of get into the details. Let's give you a good overview of everything it comes with. When you first get the pack, you're going to see this metal frame inside the backing. So it comes separate, and you input that metal frame, which gives you a lot of support. It allows the pack to just stand up on its own. And I've got a fair amount of stuff in here, and it still will sit upright for you as far as, if you set your pack down, if you're trying to pack it. So that's the first thing that I appreciated about it. The features, you've got 3 lashing straps that run horizontally here on the back of your pack. You could absolutely take this shed hunting for mule deer sheds, for whitetail sheds. I wouldn't want to try and pack elk sheds in it. It's not quite big enough for that, but it'll definitely pack a half a dozen deer sheds for you with no trouble at all. It's got 2 exterior water bottle pockets. You can see I've got the taller water bottle on this side. Fits just fine. It doesn't fall out. I've taken this pack on 4 different hikes, 4 different shed hunts, and pretty rugged stuff. A lot of oak brush, a lot of up and down. Haven't had any issue with any of the water bottles falling out. Same thing on the other side, and on this one I've just got a regular size water bottle in it. You've got lashing straps that run from front to back. So if you had something taller, you can put it inside that lashing strap, tighten it down. It rides high on your waist, so it's going to keep the weight off your shoulders. I still use an Alps Outdoors pack for hunting, but this is my new day pack now. I've been using this instead of the Alps Outdoors. This is a lot lighter, and it does ride higher on my hips, so I don't feel any weight on the shoulder straps really at all, which has been nice. I've been strapping my 9mm to this strap here. It works just fine. It is compatible with the hydration bladder, and you've got the clip on this front strap for your straw. So that's right here. It's got pockets on your hip, on your waistband here. You can cinch this down so it's tight, or you can leave this loose if you want to put stuff inside these lashings underneath. I had some reed calls in here when I went turkey hunting. This will fit my rangefinder if I want to put my rangefinder in there. And then here's the other side. Same setup. You've got this hip pocket here. Now, one of the things that's cool about the zippers, I'm going to try to show this to you, is they've got the rubber coating on the outside of the zipper, so they're stormproof. And 2 of the hikes I took this on, it absolutely rained and or snowed the whole day, and everything in my pack at the end of the day was bone dry. This is billed as waterproof, and I would say you're going to have to be out in the rain for days before your stuff's going to get wet inside. It does come with a rain cover. I'll show that to you in a minute. But I didn't use the rain cover on either of those 2 hikes, and this performed flawlessly. Let's kind of show you the back of it. This is that kind of reflective material. So in the dark, it's gonna really pop against your flashlight if you're trying to find this in the dark here on the bottom. You've got an outside pocket right here. You've got a second outside pocket. Inside is a rifle or shotgun scabbard that hooks to the bottom. So you hook it here. In fact, let's just do that for you real quick. So then you can carry your rifle or your shotgun. I did take this turkey hunting one day. I haven't posted any footage of that yet because I didn't see any turkeys, but I did carry my shotgun in the scabbard. It worked great. It wasn't loose, it didn't flop around. Obviously I never dropped it, so I wouldn't hesitate at all to carry a rifle or a shotgun in this. And then you can just store this rifle scabbard underneath along with the rain cover. I had it in this outside pocket, but there is another pocket on the bottom as well. You could easily have a bedroll on this. You could put a sleeping bag, sleeping mat on the bottom and snap it in place. It's going to hold it securely. Now I wouldn't use this really as a backpack, but if I wanted to just take a sleeping pad to sit on, something like that, I wouldn't hesitate at all to use it for that. This has zippered pockets inside of it. I mean, more pockets than you can shake a stick at. So there's another pocket in there, a mesh pocket, and another zippered pocket in here. And then your main compartment. So I've got a backpacker's meal in here. I've got my fire maple stove in here. I've got a food bag with snacks in it. I've got my first aid kit. And I've got my fire starting kit. With plenty of room to spare. I could pack way more in this main compartment. There's a lot of room in it. A nice little zippered bag up top that you could put keys, ID, stuff like that in that you want to keep separate. And then here is the rain cover. Again, you don't need the rain cover unless you're going to be out for days in the rain. This kept everything bone dry in it. Now, I would not want to use this pack if I were hunting and I had the potential that I'd have to quarter something and pack it out. I don't think it's made for that. I think that would be a pain to try and pack something out in this as far as an animal. But if I were hunting in an area where I knew I could just drag it to the trail, drag it to the car, if I was on private property, you know, where I knew I could cart in or something like that, I would absolutely use this as a day pack for deer hunting. But if you're going back into the back country and you may have to quarter something up and pack it out, I would not use this particular pack for that. Again, I think it's a great shed hunting pack for deer sheds. Probably not substantial enough for elk sheds, but great for deer sheds. I use it turkey hunting. It was fantastic. From a price point, it was $59.99. So I compared that to Alps Outdoors has a 37-liter day pack. So that's a little bit bigger, but theirs retailed for $79, so about $20 more than the New View pack did. Now I found some packs on Temu that were cheaper, but anything that you've heard of, like Badlands or Horn Hunter or anything like that, similar in size, on the low end is going to run $20 to $30 more than this, and on the high end is going to be 2 to 3 times as much. So what you get for what you're paying, it's just one of the best deals that I have seen. I was very, very impressed. Now they gave me a couple other products to test that I haven't really been able to put through the paces yet, but I'm excited to try them because if they're anything like this day pack, I'm gonna love them. I don't have any tears in it, and I was hiking through oak brush that snags and scrapes and scratches like you wouldn't believe 2 different times, and it looks as good as new. So obviously I haven't had it long enough to say how durable it is over the long run, but in the short term I'm really impressed with the durability, with the functionality of it, with how comfortable it is. It's just a great pack. In fact, this is my new day pack. This is what I've used the last 3 times I've shed hunted, and originally I was just doing that because I wanted to test it. I'm not testing it anymore. I'm using it. This is going to be my go-to pack unless I'm in an area where there's a lot of elk sheds. So that's my review. I'll put a link in the description. I want to thank New View Hunting for sending it to me and letting me try it out. I think it's a great option, guys. I don't think you'd be disappointed at all. And I don't have any sort of affiliate link. I'm not getting a commission on this if you purchase this. So check it out. Let me know what you think. Time to wrap this video up with a minute on the mountain. I mentioned in the last video we're going to spend a little time in the book of Judges. There's some really heroic things in Judges, and there's some really horrific things in the book of Judges. Really a dark time in Israel's history. And there are 2 verses I want to discuss. They say the same thing. Judges 17:6 and Judges 21:25. It says, in those days, Israel had no king, and everyone did as they saw fit. Some translations say, and everyone did what was right in their own eyes. I think that's very descriptive of the culture that we have today, that this moral relativism that has crept in where people don't believe in absolute truth, and they just think as long as they do what's right in their own eyes, it's okay. And so keep that in mind as we go through this series in Judges. I mean, again, there's some really horrific things that happen. And anytime you have a culture, whether that's a nation or a city or just any group of people where they don't have absolute truth, where everything is relative, you're going to have chaos. Jesus said that he is the truth. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And we know that God's word is truth. So let's use that. Let's let that be our guide. Let's not let everything be relative, but let's make sure we stand on the truth. That's Minute on the Mountain. Thanks so much for all your support, guys. Appreciate you coming along, and hope you have a blessed week.